Section 8.2, double object pronouns. So in lessons 5 and 6, you learned that direct and indirect object pronouns replace nouns and that they often refer to nouns that have already been referenced. We looked at indirect objects mete, le, nos, os, les, and also direct object pronouns lo, la, los, las. We'll go over them again really quickly. The pronombres reflexivos mete, se, nos, os, se, like él se lava las manos, or ella se despierta, yo me despierto. And there's pronombres indirectos, mete, le, nos, os, les. These usually have the meaning of to someone or for someone, to me, for me, to us, for us. And then those pronombres directos, mete, lo, la, nos, os, los, las, which generally replace nouns in a sentence and must correspond in gender and plurality or singularity with the noun that they replace. So the thing is that you can have more than one of these in a sentence. In fact, you do it all the time in English. Like you need a pen really quickly, and you say to your colleague, "Hey, will you give it to me?" Like give me the pen. And by it, you mean the pen, and it's all understood that you need that. And the same thing, in the same way that we speak shortly with each other in that way, they do that in Spanish as well, and they have a specific order that they do it in. In the handout I gave you with these, I put them in the order of rid, that when there are more than one, they always go in this order. You'll never have all three. You can only ever have two at a time. But when you do have them, as I said, they'll be in this order. Por ejemplo, me lo das, like, will you give it, singular masculine noun, to me? Por ejemplo, el bolígrafo, the pen, right? Or, por ejemplo, no te lo compré. I didn't buy it for you. Notice that, as I said, we only have two ever, and they're in the order of rid. So it's the I always goes before the D. It would never be no lo te compré or something. It would always te lo compré, as I said, in this specific order. And you could also have it with reflexive and without indirect. For example, él se lavó las manos. He washed his hands. We're all understood that las manos is what's being talked about. We want to replace that with a direct object, but we still have to keep it reflexive because he washed his own hands. Él se las lavó. He washed his hands. And everyone sort of understands that he washed them, as we say. So when direct object and indirect pronouns are used together, as I said, the indirect object always precedes the direct object pronoun. La camarera me muestra el menú. La camarera me lo muestra. Why lo? Because el menú. Nos sirven los platos becomes nos los sirven. Why los? Because los platos. Maribel te pidió una hamburguesa. Porque, Maribel te la pidió. Porque es una hamburguesa. Or, ¿quién te los dio? Who gave them to you? Te los, in the same order. Me los compró un chico muy guapo. Me los, once again, in the same order. So, the sort of troublesome part comes in with the fact that in Spanish, two pronouns that begin with the letter L can't be used together. So you would want to say, por ejemplo, le escribí una carta. You might want to say, le la escribí, like with the I of indirect and the D, la, le la escribí. But the trouble is they don't say that. Instead, they use a different usage of the word se, which is called se variante contextual de le. It just sounds a lot nicer. Se la escribí. Or les sirvió los sándwiches. Se los sirvió. Like he served them to them. Let's look at a different one. Por ejemplo, él le dijo la verdad. He told her the truth. But instead of él le la dijo, it's él se la dijo. Él se la dijo, or just se la dijo. And as I said, this is called the se variante contextual de le. This is what happens when you would ordinarily say le or les here, but you can't because Spanish doesn't allow for it. And because se has multiple meanings, Spanish speakers often clarify to whom the pronoun refers by adding a usted, a él, a ella, a ustedes, etc. El sombrero, Carlos se lo vendió a ella, o las verduras, ellos se las compran a usted. Por ejemplo, él le dijo la verdad a María, o él se la dijo a María. As I said, double object pronouns are placed before a conjugated verb, which is always, right? Te lo voy a mostrar, o nos la están comprando. With infinitives and present participles, they can be placed before the conjugated verb or attached to the end of the infinitive or the present participle. Por ejemplo, voy a mostrártelo, or están comprándonoslas. I know it sounds weird and complicated to you, but this is the way that people speak. Or mi abuelo me lo está leyendo. Mi abuelo está leyéndomelo. El camarero se los va a servir. El camarero va a servírselos. Let's look really quickly at the inténtalo that is actually in your homework. La ensalada, el camarero nos la sirvió. ¿Por qué la? Because la ensalada. El salmón, la dueña me lo recomienda. Me lo recomienda. ¿Por qué lo? Porque es el salmón. La comida, voy a preparártela. Attached to the infinitive, voy a preparártela. Las bebidas, estamos pidiéndoselas. One thing I need to mention is that, as you can see above, when direct double object pronouns are attached to an infinitive or a present participle, an accent mark is added to maintain the original stress. Por ejemplo, the stress of leyendo is in this right here, leyendo. And when you add these syllables, you're messing with the natural stress of the word, and therefore must add an accent mark to represent where the action should go. Leyéndomelo, just like leyendo. Or el camarero se los va a servir. El camarero va a servírselos. Because you still want it on the same syllable. Servir, servírselos. As you can see down here with preparártela or pidiéndoselas. Or los refrescos te los puedo traer ahora. Los platos de arroz van a servirnoslos después. ¿Quieres mostrarle la carta? Sí, voy a mostrársela ahora. Why sé? Because if it was le, right? And we can't have voy a mostrarle la. It's kind of like sélo, don't léelo, right? Voy a mostrársela. ¿Le serviste la carne? No, no se la serví. O ¿vas a leer el menú? No, no se lo voy a leer. Are you going to read him or her the menu? No, I'm not going to read it to him or her. No se lo voy a leer. ¿Me recomiendas la langosta? Sí, te la recomiendo. ¿Cuándo vas a prepararnos la cena? Os la voy a preparar en una hora. In this activity from your homework, it wants you to essentially rewrite the sentence that only includes an indirect object and a direct object, but not a direct object pronoun, right? Por ejemplo, in this one, it is un carro. And we want you to change un carro to lo, the direct object, which means it or them. Por ejemplo, la camarera te sirvió el plato de pasta. La camarera te lo sirvió. Lo corresponds to el plato. It must go in the same order of rid, right? I, D, before conjugated verb. Or Isabel nos las llevó. Las being la sal y la pimienta. Javier me pidió el aceite y vinagre anoche. Javier me los pidió. Los being el aceite y el vinagre. El dueño nos busca una mesa para 6 personas. El dueño nos la busca. La being una mesa. Once again, notice it's in the same order. Tu madre me consigue unos melocotones deliciosos. Tu madre me los consigue. Los being unos melocotones deliciosos. Te recomendaron este restaurante Lola y Paco. Te lo recomendaron Lola y Paco. Lo being este restaurante. And in this one, the majority of these work with making a very concise sentence, generally using the se variante contextual de le. For example, yo le escribí una carta a mi padre. In the a mi padre, we want to put this into yo se la escribí. You would think le la escribí, but as I said, it can't be le or les. It must be se, right? Por ejemplo, yo les envié postales a mis amigos. Yo se los envié. I sent them to them. Celia les compró una fruta a ustedes. Celia se la compró. La, because una fruta. Se, because it used to be les. Ángel me recomendó el pollo asado. Ángel me lo recomendó. Lo being el pollo asado. El camarero te sirvió un café. El camarero te lo sirvió. Lo being un café. ¿Quién nos vendió la mantequilla? ¿Quién nos la vendió? La being la mantequilla.